Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and today folks we are doing another pick-a-card reading. Today's pick-a-card reading is a broadly open question about what's ahead for us 6 months from now. And you see here I have 4 stones, so we're going to have 4 different options. But what I'm doing for this pick-a-card reading is I'm going to split the deck into 4 piles of 9. So we're going to do a 4x9 portrait spread. So we're using one deck, we're dividing it across the 4 options. Because it's a 36 card deck, we're going to get 9 cards per pile, and so that's going to do us a portrait for each one. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle my deck and deal out the 9 cards for each pile. Okay, so we have our 4 piles of 9 cards, and so this is the pile for Brandberg and so on all the way to Goldstone. And there are equal number of cards across each of the stones. So you're going to find your reading in the description box. We have the Brandberg stone. You'll find that linked in there at the timestamp. This is the Serpentine. That's the next one. And this is Opalite stone. And finally, Goldstone. So I'll see you in your reading. You'll find the timestamp in the description box. Okay, here we are with the Brandberg reading group. I've got the 9 cards. They are in the same order that I dealt them in, and I want to keep them in this order. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn them around, and I'm going to deal out the 9 card portrait. Okay, Brandberg group, here is your 9 card portrait. The lily in the center of this portrait highlights your career and your lifestyle in a broad sense. So 6 months from now, you can look forward to focusing on this area, and it looks like there are some pretty big changes that are possible for you. We have the mouse as your first card, which means that you could be going through some challenges. The mouse is not too strong in its challenging aspect. It tends to point to little speed bumps and things going on here and there. But it's also really good for focusing on details and paying attention to the smaller things in life because they add up to the big picture. So when we see the mouse, lily, and scythe here, you could be making some small changes with your career, but actually because of the scythe on the other side of the lily, I feel that you want to make a deeper change. You might want to make a bigger change. And the thing about the mouse in this context, can mean that you are being a bit challenged by this. You know that you need to make a big change, a big step. Maybe you are closing a chapter, releasing a phase, and moving on to a next one. And this can cause you a bit of anxiety. But it's important to keep focusing on the details and to focus on as much as you can, because this can mean a big thing for you. Now the mountain, lily, and bear is quite an interesting combination here because it's also big in the sense that it covers your life and lifestyle as a whole because of the lily. But on top of that, we have the bear. And the bear is all about big things. It makes everything big. And so what you could be going through here is important. Now, the lily and bear has a special meaning in my dictionary. It can refer to matters of the law. And on top of that, the mountain and the bear can point to someone living abroad. And with the lily, this can be about considering a life abroad or possibly in a different location than where you are now. So I have to say, Brandberg group, that it's really possible that you're looking at a radical lifestyle change here. Where you live, how you live is also in question. So you could be looking at some deep changes in this regard. Now, the lily and bear can also bring up matters of the law, legal affairs, administration. And so if you're looking to make a move, this can be a major focus for you. And this brings me back to the mouse, because the mouse being about details and the fine print, I have to emphasize here that you want to pay attention to all the legal ins and outs that you could be involved in 6 months from now or close to then. Let's move on to the rose. We have the mouse, sun, and bear. This is a beautiful line. The sun very easily overcomes any challenges or doubts or anxieties that you have, represented by the mouse here, and the bear is a very positive step forward. So this by itself is really positive in terms of achievement, success. Really, you'll be able to overcome any speed bumps, glitches, little things going wrong here and there rather easily. I would say the bear is a card of strength and commitment, and so in this context, I would say you want to be up to the job. Don't back down from the changes. You need to pursue this next level. So, have the courage to just keep on going. And really, with the sun, I feel you have this strength and this enthusiasm as well, because the sun is so bright and positive. Now, the house, lily, and clover is beautiful for all things home, family, life, and lifestyle. And the lily and house really brings up this idea of how you live, your home disciplines, your lifestyle. And you could be in a really good place 6 months from now. With the clover being an all-around lucky card, you could find your path in a really interesting way and feel like you're really in the right zone for you. So make these changes, step up to the change, to what's ahead next, because the rewards are lined up for you. The other thing about this line is that it can point to the job sometimes. The lily is sometimes a card of career as well. And so with the house, this can be really good for a home-based business possibly, or your team on the job, or your work in general. You are really on the right track and doing the right things. You've got the right disciplines lined up, and it's really bringing the rewards, and it feels really good. I'm really getting a sense of alignment here. The Mountain Woman and Scythe, again, we're getting this idea of a place abroad, a possible change in relation to someone you might have abroad. This can tie into what we saw in the second diagonal. So there can be an opportunity that comes through this woman here who is located abroad, and we'll see it through this right-hand side column, but it could also be someone you have abroad, or possibly someone you visit, and that's what opens up this door and this opportunity. The line is neutral as it stands, so it doesn't really tell us much about the woman. But if I were to look at the central column, the sun, lily, and woman here, she does look supportive, and she does seem to bring you an opportunity or to highlight some positive aspects for you in your life. So from this column here, which T crosses the bottom line, I'm seeing supportive elements coming through this woman. So let's back up to the columns. We have the mouse, the house, and the mountain. Here's another indication of a possible move, I have to say, Brandberg group. The house and mountain can mean a place abroad, and with the mouse here, you could be thinking about possibly having a foothold abroad, or maybe you already have ties abroad and you need to attend to them, you need to go somewhere, you need to follow up on some issues that you've been having in this home or this place, in this location here. We read the central column, and we did touch on this right-hand side column, but it's a really positive one. We have the bear, clover, and scythe. This is definitely a lucky break, and a big one with the bear and clover, suggesting a possibly big opportunity for you that you need to seize, take advantage of. And I really think that if you keep on going the way that you're doing, you keep building on the right disciplines, the opportunity will come, and this is what could really come for you in the coming 6 months. So think about from now to 6 months ahead. What are you doing that works? What are you doing that doesn't work? What are the things that you can change that can help you bring you closer to your goals? What are some changes that you can make that can help you resolve any issues that you could be having here or elsewhere? What does your lifestyle look like? Because bringing this picture together can help make a major change for you that can open up a breakthrough and some kind of opportunity for you down the line. And it looks really, really good. And remember, in the process, pay attention to the details, look at the legal and administrative side of all of this, and also look at the big picture of your life, not just the small details, but also the big picture. So this can be a major balancing act that you're doing throughout this coming 6 months or 6 months from now. And this can bring you to a major change that opens up a new opportunity, just like we said. So I would say a really interesting set of cards, Brandberg group. This is about your life in general, your life direction, possibly some big decisions that you're making, and a deep change that you could be preparing for. So let me know how this plays out. Do circle back 6 months from now. Let me know how these cards played out for you. Leave me your thoughts and comments. And until we meet again, very best of luck for the coming 6 months, and take very good care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, Serpentine group, here we are with your reading. I've got the 9 cards that I originally dealt, and I'm going to keep them in this order. And remember, we are looking at what's ahead for you 6 months from now. So let's go ahead and deal out your portrait. Okay, well, it's pretty clear that there is a relationship with this gentleman here that comes into focus for you. Now it's interesting that we also have the heart and the flowers. These are all supportive cards. But as your cover card, we have the fox. The fox covers you. It represents you because this is the first card of the portrait. So I think that it's possible that you are the one who is having doubts about this relationship. Now, this can be about love and intimacy, but it doesn't have to be. It can be in other contexts of life. So let's go ahead and weave the lines of your portrait. We've got the fox, man, and heart. So the man and heart is a really good combination for any relationship. It seems that this person is supportive, has good intentions, but it's really you who is doubtful about this. Now, another way to read the line is that you are having doubts about this person because of something that they are or they did, and maybe you have good reason to do this. So there is a good relationship here, someone supportive, but you still want to be careful and vigilant around them. It's possible that you're still getting to know them. And really, when we look at the second diagonal here, we have the bookman and coffin. It's possible that you need to get to know them better, get to know him better, taking your time because maybe they have aspects that they don't reveal about them himself. And, he's a bit secretive because of the book. It's also possible that he's been away for a while and that you're not really sure what he's become or what he's like because of this time apart or this distance. So any way you look at these two lines, it's a really good idea to take your time getting to know this person. Now, the fox, flowers, and coffin. This would be a really good combination as well because of the flowers in the middle here. But again, the coffin tells you to take your time. So we're seeing another indication of this, just like we saw in the second diagonal. The flowers here really helps with encouraging you to take your time. It suggests that there's a good reason why you want to allow this person to come through a little bit more clearly before you reveal what you're about or get closer to him. The thing about the fox and flowers is that it can sometimes point to someone who is not being honest about how they feel about you, in the sense that, there's false flattery or, there's over complimenting when it's not so necessary, just being a little bit, maybe a bit fake or a bit shallow. And so this could be what's at play. And so maybe that's what puts you off a little bit about this person. And so you're backing off a little bit and taking your time. It's also a good idea from this set of cards here that you withhold revealing yourself, too quickly. Just take your time, again, getting to know this person. There's no need to be too enthusiastic too quickly, or to be too eager about him too quickly. So again, it's any way you interpret these cards, there's a good indication that you should be taking your time with getting to know him. Still, the key, man and tower, is a really positive combination. I think this set of cards here tells us that this is someone who has some level of expertise. He could be someone who's really smart. He could be in a decision-making position. The key makes him really smart and intelligent, and the tower makes him authoritative, like an expert of sorts. And so what I feel could be coming through is that this has to do with the job. The fox is a card that's connected with work and employment, and the tower can be associated with business buildings, and the corporation, things like that. So when we have these cards and this possibility, because this is an open-ended reading, then he could be someone who offers you an opportunity. And the thing about the coffin and the different lines that we saw is that you want to take your time to make the right impression on this person, or you need to be patient for this person to make that decision that will impact your work positively. The book, anchor, and heart is really positive because it points to a positive conclusion. Even though the book is a bit mysterious, I think with the anchor and heart on the other side of the book, it's really possible that you get the right news or the right indication at the right time. And so if you're patient, again, things are going to unfold positively. The heart and anchor is really positive. It's really the book and anchor that tells you to be patient. Again, we're seeing a strong indication of patience and things, going a bit slower than you would like. So in the context of the 6 months, question, because we do have a timeline for the reading, right? It's possible that your reading goes a little bit beyond the 6-month bracket here. So be patient, hang in there, and allow this person to come around, and be cautious with him. Be smart, and diplomatic, I would say, is really key. So let's turn to the columns here, and then we'll put together this portrait. We have the fox, key, and book. This is really good for work, for knowledge, for information. You're obviously really smart and you're able to figure things out. If you need to up your skills or learn something or dig into some kind of area, then you need to do that. And I think you are definitely going to come out with answers. The flowers, man, and anchor is also really positive. Again, we're seeing positive cards that surround this man. So I feel that he is supportive. And again, the caution part is coming from you because of your fox. But he is supportive. He does come through. I feel this is someone whom you can trust. And when we look at this line as the T crosses the bottom row, it does seem that he comes through with some good information or some good news. The thing about the coffin, tower, and heart being on the right-hand side of the portrait, and the right-hand side is often associated with the later parts of the story. It's possible here that there's an ending of sorts. So there's some kind of chapter that ends. And I say that because the tower is a card of time. It tends to cover longer periods, longer phases of life. And so with the coffin and tower, it can mean that you need to wait a while before what you want to see materialize does materialize. So this is yet another indication that you need to be patient, that things are not happening as fast as you'd like. But I think that your fox really helps you hang in there, and you're able to play it smart all throughout. And you're able to be patient. I also think you know that you're in it for the longer haul. And I also feel that you understand why it's taking time. I think you're privy to some things because of this column here and how it T crosses the central row with the man in it. You know, he's smart and he has some authority here. So I feel that you're aware of what kind of decisions he's in on. And so you could have your ear to the ground in this sense, which I think really advantages you. And the thing about having the coffin and tower on the right hand side is that you know it's going to take a while longer, but I think you're good with it. I think you're good with sticking with this, with things being a bit slower and taking their time. Possibly you're able to take advantage of this for your own good. So let me know if you're doing that and in what ways. Now, another way to look at the portrait is not in terms of work. I think I sort of went off and talked about the work part, but also in terms of a relationship. So if this is about a relationship, we have also a lot of good indications, like we suggested. We have the central cross, which is really good. It surrounds this man with very positive cards. And I think you are smart in this sense. I think you know what you want out of a relationship. What's curious, I would say, is the right-hand side column. In this sense, it's possible that either you let go of the relationship or that he lets go of a relationship and maybe ties up with you. The reason I say that is because the top row can be taken to represent another relationship because of the flowers. The flowers can also represent the Queen of Spades, and so it can represent a person. And apart from its pip, it can also, represent some kind of flirting, or, it's really good with love and intimacy and, those sorts of relationships. But we have the fox and coffin here, so it seems that you could be waiting for a relationship to end. Maybe he's tied up with someone, and then in time it happens, and you're able to, to stick with that. You're able to be patient with it. So that would be a really interesting way of looking at the cards. Let me know which scenario you feel is playing out for you. Leave me your thoughts and comments about this. Circle back 6 months from now and tell me who this man turns out to be and what your fox is advantaging you with. I think it's a really clever card here with in this powerful position. So broadly, I would say it's a bit of a neutral set of cards. It's really the patience thing that is coming through many times in the layout. And, this is where you're in it for the longer term because you have long-term vision, I think. So again, let me know how you like these cards. I'm looking forward to your thoughts and comments. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching and take very good care of yourself. All right, Opalite group, here we are with your cards and your beautiful stone. They are in the same order that I dealt them in, and I'm going to keep them in this order. And remember, we are looking at what's ahead for you 6 months from now. So let's go right ahead and deal out your portrait. Okay, Opalite group, this is really interesting. The fish in the middle here points to money and prosperity, so I feel that this could be about your money, your work, your business, what's in focus for you 6 months from now. And we also have a couple of travel cards, mainly the ship, but also the rider, and there is the child, which points to a new beginning. So I feel that you could be turning the page on something here. You could be moving into a new venture. This can be a project of sorts that brings you income, or possibly even straight up a job. The cross as your first card here points to important decisions that you're going to make. And I feel that here the idea is that you could be at crossroads and this is weighing on you. What you decide at this point can affect you over the longer term. So this is really interesting. So with this overview, let's go ahead and weave the lines of your portrait. We have the cross, fish, and child. This points to a new financial beginning for you. And you could be making an important decision in this area 6 months from now or around then. And it's really important that you weigh the pros and cons of everything. It's important that you take this very seriously. What you are doing now is going to affect you over the long term. This can be an investment decision as well. Like you could be looking at how you invest your money, what you do with it. It can be a job, it can be a project, it can be a business, it can be other forms of income that affect your, your overall prosperity, and the decision is around that. It does look like you are in for a new beginning though. The rider, fish, and garden is again about money because of the fish in the middle. The fish and garden can point to a job, a place, a business that affects your income. It can be your workplace. And with the rider here, there can be changes or some news that comes your way. And it can be an invitation or a proposal to do business or to get involved. So this can be a pretty exciting time for you 6 months from now. So let's go ahead and turn to the rows now. We've got the cross, ring, and garden. The ring and garden is about this involvement. It can be about a relationship, but honestly, because of the rest of the cards, I'm not really seeing the ring as a relationship. I feel it's more about an involvement and a commitment. And with the cross here, this is again about this decision that you make. Should you take up this involvement, this job, this opportunity? I think you end up doing so, because when we look at the garden, ship and child here, which is on the right hand side column, and the right part of the portrait is the future-most aspects of the story. As you know, we do have the beginning card here, and so it's very likely that you end up setting sail in this new direction, like taking up this opportunity and moving forward in it. So that can be really exciting. The thing about the cross is that this can be a big decision. This is not an everyday decision, so you want to look at this closely and to weigh everything out. The letter fish and ship is lovely for all things money and prosperity. This is definitely about an opportunity for income, an opportunity to do business. The letter can point to a proposal or, the whatever paperwork is involved with this. And the fish and ship is really good for money. The fish by itself is about money and prosperity, but the ship is about returns on investments, opportunities coming in, the idea of your ship coming in. And so when we see it with the fish, it's definitely good for money and prosperity. And the letter here suggests a proposal, some kind of involvement. Now the rider, snake, and child is a bit tricky because of the snake. The snake is a tricky card indeed. It would be very much in relationships, and I would say that's really interesting that it's it T-crosses the central column, which has the ring card. The snake is about being cautious, silent. It's about being discreet and diplomatic. And the thing about the rider and child is that you are turning away, you are moving into a new direction, and so it's really important that you do this carefully. And I think this ties in really well with the cross. So even though there is this sense of excitement and opportunity coming your way, I think what you end up doing is you transition into this new beginning. It's not like you just pick up and leave and, it's a sudden change like we would see with the scythe or a card like that. Instead, we're seeing slower cards, more serious cards, with the cross, the idea of making a transition slowly. And the Rider is about goals and moving forward, and the Child is about new beginnings. So you are turning into a new direction. You could be making changes here. This could be a deeper thing going on for you, especially with the cross, which affects your life and your sense of destiny in a bigger way and a deeper way. So just a word of caution here. As you turn into this new beginning, as you move into these changes, be very aware of where you're heading. Be very aware of who you're dealing with all throughout. Be patient as you transition. This can require some adaptation, so just be patient with it. Now let's turn to the columns. We have the cross, the letter, and the Rider. This is very much about news. Both the Rider and letter can be about news, and the Rider can be a messenger. So this is important news that comes your way. I think this is an invitation to move forward. This is something you're going to have to act on and make a decision on. And again, the cross is about doing this carefully with a lot of attention and awareness. The ring, fish, and snake, like we said, a T-cross is the bottom row. It is about an involvement that has a financial aspect. I think this is about the job or this proposal that you get into, that you have an opportunity to take up. And the thing about the snake here is that it is a careful card. So again, be careful as you move forward in this direction. You need to be aware of everything. I certainly think that the expectations need to be clear. You really need to be aware of what this involves, what this entails. So don't hesitate to get into the details, to ask the questions, but you also need to observe quite a lot because of the snake in here. At the same time, I have to say that I like to see the snake and fish together. The snake is a really clever card. It's a very smart card. It is a goal-oriented card. This is someone who knows exactly what they want. And with the fish, we see that you are very good with money. You know exactly what your goals are in this area, and you're going to pursue your self-interest. And this is another message that comes through the snake. The idea of focusing on your goals, on your self-interest is really key here. And it ties in nicely with the cross, right? The idea of weighing everything to make sure you are clear on how this is affecting you. Now, the Garden, Ship, and Child, like we read earlier, is an exciting new beginning for you. It does look like you are going to set sail in this new direction. It does look like you are going to take up this opportunity and move forward with it. So this can be really exciting. So you do quite a bit of groundwork here. You're evaluating everything. You're assessing the opportunity. You're counting the costs. You're looking at how it affects your life, your goals, and then I think you make the decision of moving forward. So 6 months from now, it looks like an opportunity, a financial opportunity, a business or a work involvement that comes up for you, and you're able to take it up. The ship can also point to travel. Like we indicated earlier at the outset, it can point to a trip. And so you could be going to some place new, because the Garden is the card of place and the Child is the card of new beginnings. So you could be going somewhere you haven't been to before, and this can be really exciting. I would say, if that's the case, this is where you need to do some research. It could be a tricky time when we are all faced with all sorts of challenges when it comes to travel. So definitely look into the details around that before you make your move. But you could be making a move of this size, I have to say. And this could be really, really exciting for you. And the Rider is another travel card. So we do see that you could be making a physical move in this way. So overall, Opalite Group, this is a very exciting spread for all things money and prosperity, for work opportunities, for business opportunities and involvements. And it does look like you are going to end up taking this opportunity. It's just that you need to research it well, make sure you are clear about how it aligns with your life goals, how it affects your longer term, and then I think you're going to set sail in it. So very exciting. albeit a bit cautious here. So let me know how you like these cards. Let me know what you end up making of them. Let me know if you end up making a move or a change, or what that opportunity that came your way was. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts and comments. So until we meet again, very best of luck with the next 6 months, and take very good care of yourself. And of course, thank you as always for watching, and stay tuned for the next videos. All right, Goldstone group, here we are with your cards and your stone. And the cards are in the same order that I dealt them in, and I'm going to keep them in this order, and we're just going to deal out your portrait. Remember, we're looking at what's ahead for you 6 months from now. So let's go ahead and deal out these cards. Okay, Goldstone group, this is a really interesting set of cards. We have two very contrasting cards figuring together. We have the Star, which is an all-around wish fulfillment card. It's one of the brightest cards of the deck. And we have the most challenging card of the deck, and that's the Whip. And remember that the way we did this pick-a-card reading is that we used one deck and divided it across all 4 piles. So all of the cards are going to show up somewhere in the reading. So in here, I think we're looking at some very exciting changes, and I think they overshadow the challenges that are brought by the Whip here. And we're going to read, of course, the Whip in the different lines, and the Star as well. But when I look at the bird's eye view of this portrait, I'm seeing change. We have the road and the stork, and we have the beautiful star in the center of it all. The road covers you. It is your cover card. It represents you. So you will be undergoing some very powerful changes. And then on top of that, we have the stork in the right-hand side column of the portrait. The right-hand side of any layout is usually associated with the later parts of the reading. So we see that this is upcoming for you. And of course, the star being in the middle of it all, it points to a very wonderful change, one that you had been wanting. So let's read this portrait and see what these challenges are about. In the first diagonal, we have the road, star, and clouds. The star and clouds can be a little bit challenging because the clouds is a tension card, but I tend to see this combination as referring to your hopes and your ambitions. And so with the road here, I really feel this is about your bigger goals in life. This is what you are thinking about now. This is what you should be thinking about, and this is what you should be going after. And even if there is a bit of cloudedness or things are not clear, sort of some clouds covering the star, as they would with the stork here, they bring up some issues. I still feel this is a very powerful combination for your hopes, your dreams, and really pursuing them, pursuing what matters to you. We have the bird, star, and tree, and this is another beautiful set of cards. The star and tree is certainly very powerful for wish fulfillment and for going after the things that you want, going after the things that make you happy, growing in the right direction. And the bird can bring about excitement, maybe a bit of anxiety and tension, but really I think this is because you are pursuing the things that matter to you. So I feel that this can feel like an opening, like a sense of finally I'm doing the things that I want to do. Finally, I'm pursuing what I want. The bird and tree, I sometimes take to mean a short course, a short learning phase. Maybe this is a time to pick up a few skills, maybe get into some areas that you are interested in and to grow in them. This can also be part of your sense of development, as you aspire to these big goals. So let's go ahead and turn to the rows. We have the road, the dog, and the tree. The dog is the card of friends and friendships. It can also point to siblings, colleagues. The idea of the dog is that it represents someone in your peer group. And when we see it with the tree, you could be making new friends. You could be developing certain connections. The dog can also represent customers. Maybe when it comes to your business, you're growing your customer base, especially with the tree. In general, I feel this is a peaceful combination that points to supportive relationship. And so the message here is that you do want to connect with others as you aspire to your goals. Maybe they help you with your goals. Maybe you're popular, maybe you're starting to make a name for yourself in this area that you're pursuing. All of these can apply. But I would say also surround yourself with supportive people. Get to know people, have them in your life, grow some connections. The moon, star, and stork is a beautiful combination. The star is, like we said, the wish fulfillment card. The moon is a gentle card of hopes and dreams and also honors. It's also really good with intuition. And with the stork here, you could be kicking off into your ambitions, like we said a few times. And you're also really able to now work on them. So you get the green light, and this is about action. This is no more about thinking. This is about taking action, especially with the stork. The bird, whip, and clouds is a challenging combination. The whip and bird is usually about gossip, and the whip and clouds is usually about tension and conflict. So this can mean that there is a confrontation with someone, and there can be some tensions here. Now, what's interesting is that the whip T crosses the central column, and in the central column we have the dog card, which is a relationship card. So it does seem that there could be a conflict that comes up with this person, and there's a confrontation and things sort of blow up maybe or come through to the surface. But it's really nice to see the star in the middle here, because it does point to healing and understanding. And so it's very possible that there needs to be an area that needs to be talked about. Something needs to be dealt with in a more face-to-face and maybe confrontational manner, so that it can actually be resolved. And I feel that it is resolved. And then we see the right hand side here, there's like forward movement, there's positive growth. There could be some lingering issues that stick around because of the clouds and stork, but it's still a really good foundation to grow out of. So this is a really positive set of cards, and I feel that the rest of the portrait sort of downplays a little bit the strength of the whip, whereas the whip is usually a pretty powerful card when it comes to the challenge that it brings. But I think it's a necessary confrontation, a necessary conversation. The issues need to be brought to the surface and dealt with, and they are successfully dealt with, as we see through the star. Now let's turn to the columns. We have the road, moon, and bird. This is a beautiful combination for positive change. This can be a lifestyle change, because of the road and moon, and the bird can bring about some anxiety, some tension about this. Maybe you're making a big change here, and it can cause you a bit of nervousness. You need to figure some things out around it, but it's still really beautiful what you're undergoing, and I do think that you want to pursue this. And we read the central column, and we touched also on the right hand side column, but let's recap it. We've got the tree, stork, and clouds. This can be a growth combination, the idea of stepping up, the idea of moving up. And the clouds can cause a bit of confusion, cause a bit of tension, but it's still really powerful in the sense that you need to kick off into that change despite the challenges. So when I look at the previous cards here, I feel that possibly there could be some forces, maybe some people who try to hold you back from making this change and from pursuing your ambitions. Maybe it's a part of you that is holding you back. That is also really possible. And so this is what you're wiggling yourself out of. Like, I feel through the bottom row that there is this conflict. There's this there's a bit of tension here. And then we see the release in the rest of the cards, like this diagonal and the star and stork and the tree and stork. So there's this conflict that sort of holds you back. You're trying to shake yourself out of a certain state or a previous situation, and then you're able to, release yourself into this new beginning. So it does feel like you are unleashing your positive energies into yourself, into your life, and this can feel really freeing and very fulfilling. So that's how, of the many different ways, I feel that the whip is downplayed. And like we said, when it comes to relationships, maybe there's a bit of a confrontation here, but healing is possible and you're able to move forward. So any way you look at these cards, Goldstone group, I feel that you're in for a significant change. And this change brings you into closer alignment with the things that you want for yourself, with the things that you want for your life. Wish fulfillment and growth are really possible. You have to wrestle your way out of a certain state or a certain situation, possibly a certain energy with a person, and so you can release yourself into this sense of freedom. And so this is the work that you're doing 6 months from now, or from now until 6 months, and you're able to release yourself after that. So aim for growth, aim for ambition, really connect with the things that matter to you, because they are within reach. And I want you really to connect with this thought and to really have faith in your ability to make things happen for yourself. So I'd say this is a lovely set of cards, Goldstone group, with a beautiful star in the center of it all. Do the work, wrestle your way out of any limitations so that you can unleash your ambitions and go after them. So be sure to circle back 6 months from now to let me know what you've done with this, how you've allowed it to play it out, what you've done about it. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts and comments. Until we meet again, very best of luck with it all. Thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself.